I got my wig ready and all the things I need are together, so let's get moisturized. I like to use Olay with some SPF, but you can use whatever is good for your skin. I first learned to put on makeup through theater. My very first play that I was in, I was told to use Max Factor Pan Stick. And boy, is it easy to blend, it's easy to put on. You can use two tones for like a highlight and a low light or contouring. They're still to this day my favorite tool, even though they're harder to find now. And it's really hard to find it in my color because it's so light. I actually found this Milani blush at the dollar store. Ever since then, I've gone searching for it in all the makeup stores, and it's become my favorite blush. I use CoverGirl True Match powder for my contouring to shape my face more like whatever character I'm playing that day. Sometimes I make a mistake and I forget which character I'm playing, and I'll start to shape my face like someone else and I go, whoops. It's really easy to get stuck on autopilot, especially if you're like me and you always play the same character all the time, and then you suddenly get to play someone else. I like to shade this part so that it's less likely to look like a double chin in photos. So I have white circles under my eyes. I've heard somewhere that it was from eating too much refined sugar. I don't know how true that is. I just know that sometimes I'll use blush on my fingertip to just kind of lightly even out the skin tone so that it's not this big white bold circle. I'm a big, huge fan of these little L'Oreal shadow palettes. I think this is vanilla or winter bean or something. This is the highlight I use to make the area between my lashes and my eyebrows seem further apart. It fakes giving yourself more room to play with color. There's Kitty. He's always right over my shoulder. It also really makes the colors that you're going to use way more bold. So you might not want to do this for a regular look, but if you're doing a character like Elsa who has bright pink and bright purple, you want to make it look as bright as possible with the most pigmented shades as possible. You see me blending in a little bit of highlight between my eyes. That's because I have those furrowed brow lines, those little quotation marks between my eyebrows, and so putting some light powder into those and blending it out kind of helps it disappear in pictures. You know, without editing and filters, because you can use makeup as a filter and it really saves a lot of time on the back end, and it makes your pictures look better that the parents at the princess party are going to take, or that anyone's going to take. Especially if they use flash, that's going to hit that highlight and it's really going to lighten up any shadows that you don't want. So here is the pink color for Elsa, and you can use the expensive theater makeup. I normally don't, but for this video I wanted to. I actually found an eyeshadow palette at the dollar store that has incredibly pigmented shades. It's kind of dangerous to get your makeup at the dollar store because sometimes they might have some of those knockoffs, but it's not really common because most of their stuff was just overstocked in the store and they never sold it. So it's pretty safe, but just be careful. This is Elsa's purple shade, and it really makes that pink pop, but it also makes your eyelid look a little bit bigger to contrast it on the outer corners with the dark purple. For Elsa, the bolder the better. So if you can find a really hot pink and a really bright purple, then you're in business. Because of her smirk, A lot of performers tend to think that Elsa's eyes are kind of taller toward the center and taper out, but they are pretty round. So you want to put your eyeshadow for Elsa like a big oval above your eyelashes to be accurate. Even though the colors are really bold and really bright and you want them to really pop on their own, you do have to blend them together and make sure that your edges are not wobbly or too harsh. So the more you blend the edges of wherever the color begins and ends, the better it's going to look. This one is a point of contention in the princess community. Some people really don't like to put powder or liner under their eyes. People think that putting shadow or liner under your eyes makes them look smaller, but for me personally and my eye shape, it does make them look bigger, and it really helps me shape them to look more round like the cartoon characters that I'm playing. I use the purple. It really makes my eyes look lighter in color. It brings out the greenish blue hues instead of the brownish yellow ones that are in there. This is the fun part where you really start to look like the character you're going to play. This bold black eyeliner for Elsa really starts to bring out all those colors and makes them look sharper and brighter, even though we're going to go over them again to make sure that the colors are bright as possible. But this black eyeliner really makes the colors pop. This right here is why I'm not a professional makeup artist and I don't do other people's makeup. You're not supposed to tug on the corner of your eyes to do your eyeliner, but it is the only way I have figured out to be able to do this where it doesn't look stupid. You always want to powder before you put your lashes on because they'll catch all the powder and it's going to make them look less bold and less sharp. But before you put your eyebrows on, because that's going to make your eyebrows also look more dull. So eyebrow shape is really important to all the different characters that you may play, because everyone has a different eyebrow shape, and however you draw your eyebrows on is going to really define the shape of your eyes themselves. And it even will affect the shape of your face and the way it looks in pictures. So Elsa has these really long, straight, almost like Audrey Hepburn eyebrows, and they have this little twist at the end where they just suddenly go down. I also like to add a little bit of a smirk on one eyebrow just to kind of give it a little more expression on one side. You know how they say eyebrows are sisters, not twins. They don't have to be exactly right, but it is nice to make sure they're balanced and make sure that they curve in the same places aside from the smirk. You know I always have my Marilyn Monday coffee mug going. Okay, so I use the clear duo eyelash glue every time, no matter what, all the time. It's really important that you get the correct eyelashes for the character that you're playing, because just like the eyebrow shape, the eyelash shape is really important, and it's going to really define the eye shape and the face shape and the look of your character all together. For Elsa, you want full and straight. I give her a little bit more of a taper on the end as well, just because I feel like she's kind of cheeky and there's a little bit of an attitude in that heavy edge. You can always use a Q-tip to gently clean up some of the glue by twisting it toward the lashes so it doesn't pull them up and off and out of position. And you want to make sure that both ends of the lashes meet up with your lash line. You want to make sure that it's completely flush, because any separation is really going to show in pictures and it's going to mess with the shape of her eyes. Elsa has bold black eyeliner, so you want to use bold black mascara, and it also will kind of help hide that transition between your natural lashes and the false lashes so that it's harder to detect where yours end and they begin, and it makes it look just more natural all around. Waterproof mascara make your lashes stay on, and I use waterproof mascara to hold my false lashes on when I'm a mermaid, and I've never had my eyelashes come off in the water. If you use a waterproof mascara for this part, it's less likely to get on your skin because I have really long lashes on my underneath lashes. I only ever do the outer corners. I never do all the way across because it'll get everywhere, but makes it a lot harder to get off. Hey, that trick works all the time. That's the only thing that works for waterproof mascara for me. Alright, so Elsa has these bright berry colored lips. So it's really important to get the shape right because, again, each character has a different face with different features. So even though your lips or your eyebrows or your eyes might be shaped a certain way, or even your cheekbones or your chin or your jawline, you can use makeup to make yours look like theirs pretty easily. Think of it as if you're writing something and you write the letter A and then you realize that you wanted the A to look different. You can trace over it until you get the shape that you wanted, and that's basically what you're doing with your features. You're going to trace over yours until you get the shape of someone else's. So in this case, Elsa. So this is her berry lipstick. You don't want too big of a difference between your lip liner and your lipstick. All right, it's almost wig time. These ring mesh wig caps are my favorite kind because honestly, I don't know how to use the other ones. Those nylon ones with no hole in the top, how do you do that without all your hair coming out of it? I have never been able to figure it out. I'm barely able to tuck my hair into the edges if I miss it with these. So how do you guys do that? I don't know. Here she is. I've got her all pinned up to stay in place and to make sure that she doesn't get all saggy and flat and uncurled and straightened out when she's sitting on her wig head. This is a lace front wig that I got secondhand, and honestly the lace is all stretched out when I got it. It's not the best wig. In my opinion, it's also kind of the wrong color, but for being secondhand, it's a pretty good wig. And I'm not a wig stylist, so this is me doing my best. Combing out the ends of a wig with a metal tooth comb is my main go-to for wig touch-ups. And then twisting it. Luckily, synthetic hair is really forgiving, so you can just twist it where there's supposed to be a curl, for Elsa anyway. And for the most part, it's gonna look pretty good, or at least good enough, especially for a low resolution video interaction like Instagram or Facebook Messenger or Zoom, because it's going to look curled enough and they're not going to be able to see the definition of where the lace on your wig is stretched out or that your wig needs a good restyle. You can usually kind of fake your way through with videos a lot easier than in-person interactions. You want the metal toothed comb because plastic combs are going to create static, and that's going to create frizz, whereas metal tooth combs are going to keep your wig looking smooth and shiny. So this lip gloss, I don't know what color it is. I found it at the dollar store in a makeup kit, and it is the perfect color for Elsa. It makes her lips bright berry colored. They look healthy and smooth, the perfect amount of just enough gloss. And for video calls and not in-person events, I don't do the glitter because it really doesn't look good in pictures. And it just seems like such a waste for a video call where you're not really going to be able to see it and it's just going to make your skin look kind of scratchy. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed.